Hi, Avraham. Thank you for joining us to interview a little bit about the upcoming conference and your presentation. The Isaiah Institute is doing a fundraising conference on October 19th. The title of the conference is Restoring the Covenant, Isaiah's Roadmap for Reversing Our Awful Situation. And since you are our keynote speaker, I think a lot of this is centered around your talk, so we'll speak about that in a minute. But I want to make sure people know that the conference will be Saturday, October 19th. It'll start at 9 a.m., but there will be 3 sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then a live question and answer session with you in the evening, which is always a treat. So anyone who will have registered for the conference will have access to that. One thing I want to make sure people know, because not everyone's available on Saturday, that if we register for the conference, we have access to the recordings after the conference for as long as we have them. So that's really a great perk as well. I want to make sure people know how to register. They can go to our website, isaiahinstitute.com, and can register there. They can go to our Facebook groups and find the link. It'll all be in the newsletter probably every week from here until the conference. They can sign up there. And let's jump in. I have a few questions for you, Avraham. There will likely be a lot of new people watching this video. If you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to do this life work of yours in Isaiah.
Yeah, this is not about me basically, but this work's very important for the end time. But I do feel that after all the years I've spent analyzing the words of Isaiah, there are certain results. You pay the price and good things happen. And then the words of Isaiah began to open up to me, especially during my PhD program at BYU. After I did a new translation of the words of Isaiah. It's now called the Isaiah Institute translation. We have, 5 or 6 websites where that translation is mostly available. And also literary analysis, commentaries, and videos on our websites. Those things are mostly all free. And of course, the books, a bunch of books that I've published, each one using a different approach to the words of Isaiah. So you really can't miss. You really will understand Isaiah by the time you assimilate this kind of material. And that's a guarantee, that's a promise we make. My own background, I was born in Holland, raised in New Zealand, where my parents immigrated with our family. And then I immigrated to Israel when I was 28, spent 5 years there, learned Hebrew, studied in a rabbinic school in Jerusalem, the old city of Jerusalem. And a year after my baptism, after finding the Book of Mormon in Israel, I was baptized in the Pool of Siloam, where Jesus healed the blind man. Came to Utah and had no intention of staying or studying whatsoever. But still, I began to take Isaiah seriously, and which I had learned some of in rabbinic school. And out of that came all these books and a life's labor of searching the words of Isaiah, analyzing basically literary structures, literary patterns, typologies, rhetoric, everything.
I love hearing that story of your background because you were perfectly prepared to do the work you've done, which has really helped the rest of us come to understand how to search the words of Isaiah for ourselves. So thank you. So do you mind telling us the title of your talk and a little bit about it and also about what you hope people will come away with?
Yes, my talk's called The Coming Reversal of Circumstances, and it is prophesied in Isaiah and the Book of Mormon and LDS scriptures. And it happens during a very dire time upon the earth. As Moroni says, when you come to a sense of your awful situation. And that does happen when there is a secret combination. And it's not just a conspiracy theory, it's a fact. When that happens, what's the way out? And that the Lord has prepared a way out. And for every evil, there is an equal good. And that good is what we need to find out. It's almost like all of history culminates in this end time scenario that Isaiah has predicted. Because Isaiah really is the prophet of the end time. And when we take his word his words seriously, as Jesus commanded, to search them diligently. That's not just reading or studying them, it's spending time and analyzing as Jews do, using the manner of the Jews, and not just using them as a proof text for what we believe. Then things happen, then good things happen. The Lord opens the way for us to truly understand. And it's a deliberate challenge, because if we don't take on the challenge, we're going to miss out on something very important. And then we may make the wrong choices when things come to a head, very easily, in fact. But if you truly understand Isaiah, then all the new things that will be happening will be, will seem very familiar, because you know them from the scriptures, from Isaiah particularly. Isaiah is on many levels. It's not just the surface exterior of Isaiah, and you read in the translation, even in a good translation, such as the Isaiah Institute translation. The King James has been a real obstacle to understanding Isaiah. I'm sorry. All the church translations in other languages use modern translations, but for some reason in English, they use the King James translation still. For whatever reason, that's fine. But it is an obstacle, and a lot of stuff is cleared away. And the Isaiah Institute is way more consistent than the King James, less literalistic and more getting the meaning of what Isaiah is saying. But that is, again, that's only a small part of understanding Isaiah. There's way more going on, and we're the ones that have these tools now to. That is one of the things you asked about my background. It's one of the things over so many years, I would discover these new literary features of Isaiah that are the keys to understanding it. And every time I discovered one of those things, it's no tribute to myself, it's a tribute to the Lord for taking me through this journey. But every time I discovered one of these things, these literary features that just opened up Isaiah, then I really had to readjust all my thinking, all my previous thinking about Isaiah. So it was a real, like an obstacle course in a way, because I had so many precepts of men that I had learned within the church that Nephi talks about, that we have, and I had to unlearn those and replace them with what was actually going on in Isaiah. And some of it was really glorious, and other stuff was really difficult and condemning of us. And just like in the Book of Mormon, you see the same kind of thing. Great promises of God, and then which we want to apply to ourselves, of course, but we must not get presumptuous. Because Isaiah has us wade through the bad news first, and then he gives us the good news. So yeah, this has been my whole attempt in life. And every time I discovered a new literary feature, which lasted over 10 years of postdoctoral work as a start, then finally I reached a plateau of understanding. Then I felt capable, or I felt ready to publish a book about it, because until then, how could you be publishing something if you only have a half-cocked knowledge of something? It doesn't work. And that is one of the problems you see today with so many, quote, Isaiah experts. Some of them have latched on to my stuff, and then they run with it, put their own spin on it, and people get confused. Isaiah does not work that way. You've either got to take it on the whole thing, or not at all, because you cannot just run with one or two parts of Isaiah. It's so intricate. It's a web of interconnections on many different levels, literary levels. So that's Isaiah, and it requires paying the price, but it is so worth it. It's like another conversion to the gospel on another level, and it really opens your eyes, as those who've done it can testify. And we have many people, thousands, in fact, who've done that thus far. I'm talking too much.
Yeah,
So.
Oh, that's great. I can testify of that too. Yep, I've had that experience. The gospel is new again. That's perfect. Thank you for sharing. I think I have one more question. We have 6 great speakers, and I wonder if you could give a little advice to people who are coming, how to best prepare to get the most out of the conference.
I think the big part is just to sit back and pay attention, register and pay attention, because those persons giving the talks are all out of the Isaiah Institute. They're like the fruits of our labors, right? And they have prepared and are preparing still systematically to give you a presentation that will teach you these tools for understanding. One speaker, though, is Greg Mattson. He with Quick Media, and he is speaking on a very basic level of the covenant of the land of America. And so that will be interesting. But all the other speakers are from the Isaiah Institute, both the ones on Friday and the ones on Saturday. And yeah, these are all people who have learned the words of Isaiah and understand them and are able to speak authoritatively on the subject because it's all scripturally based and there's no opinions, there's no suppositions or anything. You get what Isaiah is saying when you analyze it, and this is what comes out. These are the facts. And Isaiah has so many checks and balances to let you know you're on the right track. It's not just one proof coming from one direction. There's several simultaneous proofs telling you all the same thing, and then you know you're on solid ground interpreting the words of Isaiah. Yeah, these speakers are going to be marvelous. We have had conferences in the past, but I think this conference is kind of a culminating thing, because history is culminating in our day, and on a way that's never before. And all the ancient types and shadows are now coming to the fore, and there are surprises because Isaiah holds many surprises. And in my talk, there's a big surprise at the end as well, but it's all scriptural. It's all there. We just haven't seen it, haven't noticed it.
Avraham, thank you for spending time with us, talking to us about the conference and about your talk, where I am very much looking forward to it. And so just again, if you want to register, everyone, I suggest you do. There's a link below for you to click on, go to our website. And if you already get the newsletter, go ahead and look in there. If you don't already get the newsletter, you can also sign up for that on our website.